The episode begins with a boy arriving at a famous hot spring town called Yunohana Hot Springs. His name is Kogarashi Fuyuzora, and he has come here to start a new life. Soon after, the story shifts to two old couples talking to a shopkeeper. They tell him that the inn where they were staying is haunted. They saw the ghost of a young girl. But suddenly, the man they're speaking to reveals his true face. He himself is a ghost. Terrified, the old couple feel that no one can save them. Just then, Kogarashi appears. He calmly tells them not to worry, because he has already taken care of that monster. It won't bother them again. He then asks the couple if they know where Yuragi Inn is. They reply that the place is haunted, and they just came from there. They warn him not to get involved. Cut to the next scene, Kogarashi finally arrives at Yuragi Inn. The reason he wants to live here is simple. The rent is unbelievably cheap, just 16,000 yen per month, including meals 3 times a day. Since Kogarashi is still a high school student who also has to manage part-time jobs, this is the best option for him. But the low price comes with a catch. The place is rumored to be haunted by the spirit of a young girl who once stayed there. When Kogarashi enters, he suddenly sees a girl appear right in front of him. She is clearly a ghost. Instead of fear, he feels extremely awkward and embarrassed. The female ghost gets flustered as well and starts throwing things at him. Eventually, Kogarashi faints. When he wakes up, he finds himself lying on the ghost's lap. Confused, he asks what is happening. The girl introduces herself as Shisaki Nakai, the caretaker of Yuragi Inn. She knows everything about whoever stays here. Before Kogarashi can process this, another girl enters the scene, Nonoka Arahabaki. She suggests they all drink together to get to know each other better. But suddenly, another girl named Sagiri Amano appears and throws a knife at Kogarashi, narrowly missing him. She warns him that if he dares to cause any trouble in this place, she won't let him off so easily. At the same time, she scolds Nonoka to cover herself up, since a boy is sitting right there. Then, from under a futon, another strange girl crawls out. Her name is Yaya Fushiguro. Her behavior is odd, and she interacts with Kogarashi in a weird way. After these encounters, everyone asks Kogarashi what his room number is. When he says room number 4, they're all shocked and fall silent. No one tells him why, and they quietly leave. Kogarashi wonders why they reacted like that, but doesn't think too much and happily goes to his room. For the first time, he has a proper place to stay. But as he inspects his room, he notices something strange. Hanging from the wall is a paper charm. On closer look, he realizes it's the same ghost girl from before trying to hide. Kogarashi pulls her out and she nervously apologizes, saying she didn't want to scare him, so she was hiding. Kogarashi tells her it's fine, but at least she should come out and talk properly. Finally, the ghost girl introduces herself as Yuuna-Hana, the bound spirit of Yuragi Inn. She is surprised that Kogarashi can actually see her clearly, since most people can't. Yuuna then asks Kogarashi, "How do I look to you?" Kogarashi replies that she looks like a normal high school girl wearing a yukata. Yuuna is touched, realizing that he can truly see her as she is. This sets the stage for the heartwarming yet hilarious story between Kogarashi, Yuuna, and the residents of the haunted hot spring inn.
Yuuna asks Kogarashi if he can really see her clearly. He nods, confirming that he can. Yuuna explains that normally, when people saw her, they would either get scared or try to exorcise her. But Kogarashi doesn't react like that. In fact, he thinks to himself, she just looks like a normal high school girl. Not the kind of ghost I'd expect from an abandoned inn. Yuuna quickly reassures him, saying, "Don't worry. I don't intend to harm you." She then attaches a protective talisman in his room so that Kogarashi can sleep peacefully. She tells him that even though she's a ghost, she can absorb or interact with spiritual energy, and that's why she placed the charm for his safety. Kogarashi asks if she plans to stay here every night. Yuuna replies that she has no choice. She's bound to this inn and can't leave. Which means, yes, they'll be sleeping in the same room. Kogarashi is a bit shocked, but accepts it. Both of them then settle in for the night. As they talk, Yuuna curiously asks him why he came to live at this inn. That's when Kogarashi opens up about his past. Ever since he was born, he's been possessed by spirits one after another. Because of this, he often caused trouble for people around him, and they began to dislike him. Once, an evil spirit even possessed him and made him spend all his money, leaving him homeless and in debt. After going through so much, he decided to train as a spiritual medium and made a vow. One day, I will grow strong enough to defeat evil spirits instead of being controlled by them. Kogarashi then asks Yuuna about her own wish, her final desire. He explains that his mentor once told him if a spirit stays too long in the human world, it may eventually transform into an evil spirit. Yuuna nervously wonders if he's worried about her turning evil. Before she can continue, a tiny mouse suddenly runs across the room. Yuuna, terrified of mice, loses control of her psychic powers and accidentally throws Kogarashi into the air. He pleads with her to bring him down, but by mistake, he ends up falling right on top of her. Embarrassed and flustered, Yuuna panics and hurls him straight out of the window with her powers. Realizing her mistake, she rushes to pull him back inside and apologizes. Meanwhile, outside the inn, we see a mysterious figure observing everything. The next day, Kogarashi starts a new part-time job so he can manage his expenses. But in the back of his mind, he's worried. If Yuuna stays in the human world too long, she might become an evil spirit. At that moment, he notices a strange man near the inn. To his surprise, this person can also see Yuuna. It turns out this person is a monk from the Guden temple. He enters Yuuna's room and without much warning begins to attack her. Yuuna asks, "Who are you?" But he ignores her question. The monk declares, "I've come to release you from this world. With my exorcism ritual, I'll send you to heaven. After that, you can choose your path according to your final desire." But Yuuna resists. She cries out that she isn't ready to leave yet. She still has so much she wants to do, so many things to experience, and she wants to spend more time with her friends at the inn. Hearing this, Kogarashi steps in. Using his spiritual powers, he breaks the monk's binding spell and frees Yuuna. Kogarashi explains to her gently, if you don't go to heaven at the right time, you might be sent to hell instead. Yuuna, teary-eyed, admits she knows. She promises she will eventually move on, but for now, she just wants a little more time here. Kogarashi vows to help her fulfill her last wishes before that day comes. He promises, when you finally leave, you'll go with a smile on your face. Yuuna is deeply touched. She tells him that no one has ever stood up for her like this before. Meanwhile, Kogarashi jokes that with rent this cheap and meals included, this inn is perfect for him anyway. Yuuna smiles and says if he ever has trouble, she'll help him too. Just then, the monk stirs again, but before Kogarashi can react, he accidentally grabs Yuuna in the wrong way, leaving her embarrassed. Flustered, she uses her powers once again and blasts him into the air. Outside, the other girls of the inn hear the noise. Suspicious, they rush in, only to see Kogarashi in another awkward situation. Sagiri, furious, demands, "Did you just touch your chest?" and immediately attacks him, setting off yet another round of chaos in the haunted hot spring inn.